Okay guys, this is an example video for what to do when you see a square. So we learned about the square root property in this video. So we're going to go ahead and just go over one example to show you kind of how to solve it algebraically, and then obviously how to use the graphing calculator to verify the solution. So we've got 9n squared plus 4 equals 85. Again, always first step is to determine variable side, number side, and then simplify. So we got step 1 is number side, variable side, and then step 2 is to simplify. So when we simplify, we're looking obviously to distribute or combine like terms. There's nothing to simplify on either side. So we can go ahead and start solving using our equality properties. And we know addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and we learned about the square root property, which is really going to help us in this example. So let's go ahead and use SADMAP to identify what we need to get rid of first. So we want to start with things that are being added and subtracted. So I'm going to go ahead and use a different color. So you can see here we've got this 4 that's being added. How do we get rid of it? We got to subtract, so we do it to both sides. And then we get 9n squared. These are 0. We know plus 0 doesn't need to be written, and that simplifies to an 81. So we've dealt with the addition and subtraction. Now it's time to deal with the multiplication and the division. So let's go ahead and use green for this. So we've got this 9 right here. There's no sign between the 9 and the variable, so we know it's being multiplied. We're going to have to divide to eliminate it. So we got 9 divided by 9 is 1 when we simplify, and 1 times n squared is n squared. 81 divided by 9 is 9. So we've dealt with the multiplication division. Now it's time to deal with this exponent. Remember, we had the exponent at the beginning, so we already knew that there was going to be 2 solutions. The exponent of the variable indicates how many solutions there's going to be most of the time, right? There's special cases. So the inverse of a square is a square root, and when we square root both sides, we keep a plus or minus right here. That is why we are going to get our 2 solutions. So the plus or minus is extremely important. So the square and the square root inverse out, and we got n to the first power, which is the same thing as n, plus or minus the square root of 9 is 3. So we've got our 2 solutions. We've got positive 3, and we've got our negative 3. Let's go ahead and use the graphing calculator to do this particular question. I'm going to exit out of this. So we got 9n squared plus 4, so we're going to type in 9x squared plus 4. And now on the other side of the equal sign, we had an 85. So we can go ahead and type in an 85. Now we're looking for where the 2 lines intersect. So you can see here we only have one line, and it's because we had a constant on this side. So when you have a constant on this side, it's extremely important that you put in y equals to get the line. So we're going to put in y equals whatever that constant is. Constant meaning just a number, no variable, right? So now we've got the constant, and we can go ahead and look for our solution. Okay, so there's the line. Perfect. 2 lines are intersecting. Where are they intersecting? There we go, negative 3 and positive 3.